Welcome to the MIQLAT 7.2 stream. I call it 7.2 because the last one's the 7th, but this isn't exactly the 8th because we're not going off the weekly schedule anymore. As for what we're gonna cover today, I'm not entirely sure myself. I just knew that I wanted to do something. Dad's still gone. He's still gone. Hey, Dad, are you there? Dad? Are you okay? Dad? He's definitely gone. He's definitely gone. So I'm not sure what we're gonna cover today. Good grief, that thumbnail. Let me just quickly. There we go. That's better. That's better. We got 12 people in here. Good grief. Badity's not Dad. Yeah, that's me. I'm not Dad. I think let me get this off. Hi from France with how do I say that? Affidon Kevin, but with an accent over the E. Kyvan. Hey, Mom, come over here for a sec. What? Come over here for a sec. I'm doing another stream.
I know you want.
Do you want to be on it?
No, I don't.
Bye. Wait, hold on. Can you give me a pug?
No, I don't want to because I'm mad at Maury. I'm mad at Bruno.
What did Bruno do?
It takes him 800 years to pee. Let's go. You're going in.
Sounds about right. Well, sadly, Bruno the pug cannot make an appearance. He's currently grounded because he did some bad stuff.
If you want Bruno, I'll give him to you.
Yeah. I'll take Bruno. 100%. Yeah, I'll take Bruno. Let me just carve out a space for him to sit. Just kind of flop him over here.
Does he need something to sit on? Well, you take him. Take him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can you grab his bed or something?
Sure.
Yeah, just grab
Don't
it.
let him on Dad's jacket.
That's my jacket.
Oh, that's your jacket?
Yeah. It might have been Dad's once, but then I started using it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something interesting. I'm gonna cut the camera here. Not cut the feed. Bam! Look at that. I mean, you can't see it because the microphone mic stand. There we go. Look at that. You know what that is? You know what we call that in the professional recording business? We call that a PUG, a code pug. So intense the camera can't focus on it. Look at that. Look at him. Only his back left leg in frame. Yeah, just kind of flop his bed down. Is he gonna climb right into that? Oh yeah, he is.
That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
What a good boy. You're not even defective, right? You actually might be a little defective. Point is up, still. Okay. Let me just kind of get you. Let me just capture your better side.
When you're done doing what you're doing.
Huh?
When you're done doing what you're doing, I need you to walk out of this.
Sounds good. See that? Hey, Bruno. What's good? What's up? What's good? What's up?
Alright.
Bruno is fine. Bruno is good.
Because I know you'll look
Bruno, you're gonna be a star. Look at that. Now we got two Heisers here. Hey, Bruno. Look at my face. Bruno, look at me. He's more interested in anything else. Okay. That's fine. A star, and he's gone. Bruno, why so anti-camera? Bruno, you good? What are you doing, Bruno? Don't, you're gonna fall. Stop. Bruno, that. Okay, Bruno. Hey, Bruno. Bruno, how you doing, man? All right, Bruno, come on. It's in your bed. I'll drape you around and keep you warm. See this? We call this a jacket. You're gonna be a Sith Lord now. Yeah, take that, Bruno. You think you could burn me down? Okay, first of all, that's very rude. I'm gonna need that arm. Yeah, you get. Oh my God. Get. Oh, Bruno, stop. Bruno. Okay, I'll drink it around you. There we go. So Bruno, what's on the agenda today? What's our plan? Our plan's to go that way. Anyway, Calvin, I got a question. So channel your dad's spirit. Yeah, Looney Tune. This basically is the pug. This basically is the pug hangout. Bruno, you probably. Bruno, what you got in your mouth? What? He has a fake part of a Christmas tree, and it's gone. Okay. Mr. Wonderful, I don't know how to pronounce your name. What is your question? That tongue is the stuff of legends. I just want to point that out going forward. Look at that. It's like it gets bigger every time I look at it. Bruno. Why? Yeah, why? Just what? Do you want me to pet you? Yeah, okay, I'll pet you. I'll pet you a bit. Yeah, okay. You're a big dingus, you know that? Don't give me that smile. You're evil. What is your question? What is your question? Nah, not bad. I know I'm live. Oh my gosh, that angle. It just full pug on display. Look at that. I got 2 cameras now. You think I was wild before? Wait till you see me now. Bruno, give us some action shots. Please don't rip that apart. Bruno, stop. Oh, okay. He doesn't actually have a question. Fun fact about pugs. Most of them suck way less than he does. Okay, I'm sorry I said that. Okay, I'll pet you. Bruno. Let's go to pug petting cam. Oh my gosh. How about this? I'll go to the pug view. This camera angle, it's reserved for pugs, petting pugs, and pugs only. If you want a non-pug thing in this stream, guess what? That's too bad. Bruno, I gotta get a better angle of me petting you. Bruno, we only use you for views, you know that, right? And he's doing stuff. Bruno, I'll pet you. Okay. Welcome to prime time animal petting. Let me just. Oh, look at that. Look at that pug. If anyone has any questions, they can put them in. Until then, I'm just gonna wait for something to happen. This is our pug only live stream. This is the pug stream. We might have a second pug at some point. We might just have one. Maybe we'll get 3 if we're lucky. But this is the pug stream now. You think the pugs had control before? Wait till you see this. What are you trying to accomplish here? What's your end goal? Is that supposed to be your... Oh gosh!
What happened?
What?
Why'd you yell?
Because I'm having a moment with Bruno. She got worried. Oh. Okay. We can get back to the Fox News angle. Okay. I'll pet you. I'll pet you more. How old is he? He's like 2. Did your dad ever share his academic studies with you? Not really. It's Wednesday night. Well, so yeah, that's true. Northern Idaho. All right. A Tale of Two Heisers. We come for theological discussion, but then we get equally excited about this. Yeah. Sometimes you think you're going to have theological discussion. Sometimes you just get blindsided by a pug. Speaking of getting blindsided. Bruno, don't jump, please. Bruno, what's your deal, man? What do you want? It's like you're only here to be petted. And you freak out unless I do it. Okay, Bruno, come here. Let me just do... Okay, Bruno, we're going to do something special here. No, stop. Don't put... Why do you... Stop. Okay. Oh. Just find a comfortable angle. Any angle that's not this. Just settle in. Settle. I don't like this very much, Bruno. This isn't your... Stop. What are you doing? Why is your tongue like that? You're such an idiot, Bruno. You're so dumb. It's not how computers work. Stop it. Did you ever go to school? Okay, Bruno. Come on, take it. Oh. Okay, I'll accept this position. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MIQLAT stream. Today we're going to be petting pugs and only pugs. Hello from Tartarus. Did I say that right? No, I didn't. Do I have any favorite theologians I read myself? Yeah, he's called my dad. Yeah, I get it, Bruno. I get it. He's just flopped over. Pugology Hangout. This is not our pug. It's a friend's pug, but they're going on a trip, you see. And they say that we can pug sit him for a while. So he's a temporary cast mat. Okay, you're permanent. Stop. And he's gone. He is out of here. Bruno, where you at, bro? Bruno, step up. Step up to me, Bruno. Technical difficulties. Our pug has started fleeing the scene. Suspect has fled. Let's get down to business to defeat the pugs. Alright guys, we're back. We've gotten the other pug, Pug 2. Today, we're going to be discussing the ups and downs of owning an animal. Only here with the Maury live stream. How you doing, Maury? How you doing? Tell me something good about your day. Did anything good happen to you ever? Why are you so depressed? That's really messed up, Bruno. We'll just get you more in frame. Yeah, that's good. Hey, Maury. Can I pet that face? Yeah, I can. Anyone besides my dad I read? Honestly, no, not really. I haven't really been much into theological reading for a while. I'm more into talks and audio stuff. But then again, most of the stuff I listen isn't religion related. Most of the stuff I listen to is either strictly entertainment or politics. Maury is depressed because his space has been violated. Yeah, you got that right. Okay. So today, we're going to discuss some really important stuff. Today, we're going to talk about... Did you know that my dad is a quarter pug? It's true. Is it safe to assume Maury... Yeah, Maury's breathing. Ooh. let me get this a bit closer. Let's see if anyone's, if any of you are in the Naked Bible Chat Discord. I might hop into there a bit later and chat with some people. These aren't regular streams. Dad's gone. I'm probably not even getting paid for these, but you know what? That's fine. Maury, what do you think of that? Maury, are you good? What do you think of that? Why do you look like you've been through something? Who hurt you? Okay. Inconclusive. Get on that ladder with Crowder? Oh, yeah, you bet. Heck yeah. Looney Tunes on the Naked Bible Discord. Looney Tune, what is your Discord name? Just curious. Louder with Crowder. I think Steven Crowder's pretty funny. Don't hate me, Tumblr. He's been watching fake news. Maury, is this true? Maury? Maury? What? Why are you like this? Let me just warm up your life a little bit. There we go. You look like a wizard now. The one with the one with the GK Chesterton profile pic. If you I don't know what that is. I don't even have an inkling of a clue. That could be literally any of these things. Are you the are you the dog with the steampunk goggles? Maury and Micah from the same litter. Funny story. They actually share a birthday. Isn't that right, Maury? He is too ashamed. Maury is Mike's brother, yeah. But not for life. Well, I don't see you in the list, which is a bit weird. Hey, General Han Solo, if you're here, say something. We could always use another half-hour Star Wars talk. I'm channeling the spirit of Maury. Oh no. Maury, save me. Maury, do something. Don't just sit there. What are you doing? Well, that was weird. We won't snitch. Nah. I ain't gonna name drop his birthday. I'm just saying that Maury and Dad share a birthday. I mean, I'm not saying they're genetically related, but I am saying it's a pretty big coincidence. That's all I have to say on the matter. What the heck is wrong with this mouse that I'm using? It's so sticky. I hate it. Here we are with our sponsor, Maury. Riveting as always. Maury's not my. I'm not Maury. Look, Maury is my dad's dad. Okay, Maury's my dad's brother. Maury's like my my uncle, Uncle Maury. Maury, aren't you excited to be an uncle? Look at the camera if you're excited. Maury, aren't you excited? Are you? Okay. I agree. Maury does look important with the cape on. 100%. Let's see what's going on. Well, here's here. Go away, fly. I want to just hop into the Naked Bible Chat Discord and be like, hey, hi. But I can't tell people in advance because my Discord account hasn't been verified yet. So that's a bit annoying. Maury says, Luke, I am your father. Maury, is that true? Are you Darth Vader? He's being awfully evasive about it. Maury, look at me. Look at that face. Aw, yeah. So the question I have is, what are we gonna do today? Well, until we get some kind of chat started up, I thought a fun thing to do would be to look at some pictures of Maury's relatives. So we're just gonna no, we're not doing that. I just hate the fact that my dad installed a plugin that makes it that you have to type in google.com to actually use the Google function. That's awful. But you know what? No shame in doing this. You see these? Any one of these could be Maury. This one actually kind of does look like Maury, honestly. What? Oh, look, it's so cute. Short-nosed dogs, pugs, bulldogs can't breathe properly. Nah, I didn't want to know that. Stop it. Is that why you're so depressed, Maury? You got trouble breathing? You got mesothelioma? Oh, hold on. I gotta switch to the pug screen real quick. He's doing a great face. Maury, what is your opinion on pugs? Okay. Back to browsing. See this? Pug. No, I want to make it larger. No, that's fine. Here we got a great photo of a pug and a little chick hanging out, just doing their thing. I call that good. Google Images is a dangerous place. Well, I'm willing to go through dangerous things to find a pug. On my morning walk, I peed on my brother's head. Then I treated myself to a hot dog bun I found on the sidewalk. Sorry, not sorry. What? 20 dangerous foods for pug, and it just shows a pug guzzling alcohol. That's majestic. Look at these. Hey, General and Solo sent me a little smiley face. I'll take that. As you can see, we got more pugs. Many quality pugs. I think Dad would get a kick out of that. He honestly would. Is this a normal evening for Calvin or just on live stream? I'd love to imagine you browsing pug pics on your own. No judging. Yeah. Pugs and pigs shouldn't be left in the hat. They usually snore while sleeping. Maury snores all the time, even when he's awake. Maury, you ejected the blanket off of your head. Are you trying to make yourself freeze? Don't answer that. You terrify me. Just, there we go. There we go. I just had to correct his blanket a bit. I want to get Dad a shirt exactly like this. See that? I can't be bothered to enlarge it, but it's a t-shirt with pugs on it. It's just pugs and clouds. Is this more Doug the Pug videos? I swear, every time I go down to Dad, there's like a 20% chance I'm just going to catch him watching a Doug the Pug video. Doug the Pug, why have you forsaken us? When on earth did it become like a meme to I think it more needs CPAP. I don't know. I think, when did it become a meme to like put a sign around a dog's neck of something kind of bad they did and then just put it on the internet? Like, I'm not saying I'm upset. I'm just asking, why did that happen? When did that become a meme? Pug. Seriously, there's a rumor. It's possible that at some point the Heiser family will be getting another pug. Now, I don't want to, be that guy or anything. I don't want to be that guy. But we're thinking about getting another pug. Maybe someday we will. If we get another pug, it's gonna be majestic. It's gonna be able to do parkour and stuff like this pug. Wow, that's actually quite terrifying. I regret looking at that. We got some people in the. We got trust. Oh wow, thank you for letting me message now. Perfect. For those of you who don't know, we currently have not we have it, but there is a Discord now for the Naked Bible group. There's a link to it somewhere. General Hanselo's link. I don't know how he's distributing it. I think he's distributing it through I think he's distributing it through the Facebook Naked Bible group. But if you guys are part of the Facebook Naked Bible group, and I'm not completely wrong, I think he will. I think there will be a link for you to look through. I'm gonna peek into the Naked private chat. That we need a different name. I'm in the Naked Bible private chat now. All right, we'll just see if people join. We can chat. We can browse pugs. It'll be a good old time. It'll be a great time. General jumping in, yeah, if he wants. I'm in the private chat right now. He can jump in whenever. I don't care. Shout out to General Han Solo for making the Erasmus bot for easy. For easy researching of Bible verses. He made a plugin for Discord where you just type in a command that includes a translation you want and the verse you want, and it'll just fetch it. It's great. That'll be great. Oh, but until then, Maury, take it away. Take it away, Maury. He's not dead. He's alive. Trust me. We got General Han Solo in the chat. His mic's muted at the moment. He'll hop in a sec. Before you unmute yourself, let me just quickly grab my favorite little lemonade. Maury, don't be dead. Being dead's for losers. Stop it. Imagine if he's like actually dead this whole time. And we just didn't know. All right. We are back. Do I read comics? No, I don't read comics. I think New Marvel is garbage. Fight me. Like really, when was the last time you heard anyone say that they really liked a New Marvel? Like, oh wow, I love Squirrel Girl. No one says that. Absolutely no one. Oh, Pug's getting active. Let's switch over this. This is important. This takes priority.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Maury. Hey, buddy. Hi, buddy. Hi. You good boy?
He's like glancing around where like he doesn't know where to look.
Yeah, he's looking at me.
Oh.
You're a good boy. Yeah, you are a good boy. Yeah.
Do you want to be on it?
I know you already did put me on there, but not really. I'm camera shy.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that face of Legends. Yeah. Marvel movies really are saving the brand, but even then, to me, other than like just sales, I really think the only good thing that Marvel's made recently has been Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Okay, actually no, Doctor Strange is also good. I like the I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I like Star-Lord. That's why I have this jacket. It's not a Star-Lord jacket. It just reminded me of it. I like Guardians a lot. Guardians is my favorite. Maury, stop hogging my screen time. I'm very sensitive. Big fan of Guardians. Got a message from... There we go. Let me just let me just show you the show you the setup. So this is what I see at all times, right? And then we just got a monitor full of pugs. That's great. I love that. But why would we need a monitor full of pugs when we got a real pug? He's purebred, I think. Probably not. Yeah, DC movies really aren't that fun. I kind of liked Wonder Woman. Honestly, I thought Wonder Woman was pretty good, but I really wasn't a fan of many of the others. I like the older Batman movies, The Dark Knight. Dude, you ever see Batman and Robin? Best movie. Said like one person. Maury, what do you think of Maury? What do you think, Marvel or DC? I really don't think he wants to... Oh, nope, he's gone. We got Scorpion. Hello, I'm from Mexico. Scorpion is, rather. Have I been to Mexico? I've been to New Mexico, but I don't think that counts. The 30 most... BuzzFeed, the 38 most majestic pugs of 2014. Stop it. Get some help. Yeah, no, BuzzFeed. We don't need 38. We need 1. And you know what? Let me show you which pug I'm referring to. Most majestic pug of ever. Sorry. Called it. Dibs. I got dibs. Maury, I got dibs on your behalf. See this? Look at this face. Look at how aerodynamic he is. See that snout? Maury, show him the snout. See that snout? That kind of snout. That snout could pierce bulletproof glass. And you're telling me that the other pugs are more majestic? I think you're just lying. Look, best eyebrows in the business. Best eyebrows in the business. What was Star Trek? I get into that. I haven't really watched much of it. I've watched some of the original series. I thought it was good. I mean, for its time, it's amazing. I don't have anything against it. I just haven't really gotten into it. It's been a while since I've really gotten into a TV show. Last TV show I actually watched a lot of was X-Files. The only series I'm watching right now that is like that's fiction, that has a storyline, that isn't just one-offs, is probably Sugar Pine 7, but that's... I'm not sure if I can count that. I love DC Comics as a kid, but Marvel... Yeah, Marvel is destroying DC with movies. But DC's destroying them with comics. Like, Marvel's new comics are just... Oh, man, they're bad. I'm going to talk to my dad about this. I would love to do a live stream where I just do nothing but talk about how bad Marvel comics are. Like, they're so bad. Like especially lately. Like I haven't really been into comics my whole life, but now that I am like looking into like the newer stuff and the older stuff, you know, reading them online or whatever. Like what happened to what what happened to Marvel? Really? It's crazy. That sound looks like it collided with a brick wall at speed. Charles Cherry, you are disqualified. You're disqualified forever. Disqualified. We got. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Han Solo to get back. To get back in the chat. There we go. Beyond's my favorite. You know the comic maker is good. If you guys like horror or scary things, Junji Ito, or however I pronounce his name, Junji, Junjiito. He's this. I think he's independent. No, he might be signed with someone, but he basically just does really spooky comics. If you're into being scared, I recommend reading his stuff. He's very creative. In the way he's creative, I'm not sure if I'd call that a good or a bad thing, but hey, he's made some pretty cool books. Political correctness happened to Marvel. Do you watch Diversity in Comics? That guy? Charles Cherry? I would kind of tend to agree. A miniature schnauzer guy. Well, when you put it like that, it really is miniature compared to the quality of this pug. Look at him, stiffing my finger. He's gathering intel. He's gathering data. He's gathering really important stuff. He's the best. Back to the pugs. What should we look up? I mean, hey, I'm a bit curious. No. Illuminati Jew misinformant slanders Zechariah Sitchin. Oh my gosh, this has to be a joke. It's an hour and 56 minutes. I think I've seen this before. I just want to point out this video has 1 like and 3 dislikes. And one of the comments is just the title. That's something special. That's interesting. How do I? Well, right now I'm just trying to buy time until General Han Solo gets back. So let me think of something to do. Something to entertain.
Hey, Calvin.
Oh, he's back. Never mind.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to go make some tea.
Some soup?
No, not tea. It's morning here in Australia.
I don't know why I heard soup. Well, good morning, General Han Solo. Welcome to the stream.
And good, is it evening now? Like good evening,
yeah.
night?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost 8.
So we have 23 people watching. That's amusing.
There's generally more people when Dad's here, but I gotta hold down the proverbial fort while he's gone.
How's things going?
Things are going pretty well. Just sitting here, I got a pug with me. What more could I ask for?
Well, that's it, right? More is, you know, is the meaning of life. Is
Maury holds the secrets to the universe. Do you ever just look at his face and think to yourself, there's something he knows that the general population doesn't? Like
Right.
he's got some. One sec, I gotta adjust his blanket. Like he's got some high profile secrets in his mind.
right. That's why he was able to withhold Nibiru on the
Yeah.
what was it, on the third or something? Yeah.
I can't tell if I think he's if I think he's CIA or KGB. He could be either.
Nah, I think he's something even beyond that.
He's ascended to a higher plane of existence.
I bet even the Illuminati doesn't know where Maury is. Like, the Illuminati is where Maury.
I'm sorry. I just switched to pug cam and Maury's just like wrapped up in his little hoodie like a Sith Lord. And I cut to it and he was looking straight at the camera. That's incredible. That's great.
You just, all you need, oh yeah, there you go, I can see that, yeah. That's the best. You should seriously just, like, after the stream is over, just go to that, screenshot that, and have that as the main Naked Bible, like, logo or something.
It's just the thumbnail to all of Dad's future streams.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be great. I have hold on. Before I forget, it's this little I meant to post this somewhere. I'm just gonna show it off on the stream. But I was working on this little video of Maury.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it up here so they can see. I was messing around with my editing software. It won't make sense for you because you won't see it when it happens, when you hear, like you won't see it when you hear it. But look at this.
No, I'm streaming, like, I'm seeing your audio as well.
I took a clip of Maury running into a wall, and I synced the impact of his face to the wall with "Hooked on a Feeling." I love that.
Yeah, I think that was a 20-second lag, right? So I just saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have less of a delay now. There's only a 5-second delay. I switched from 20 to 5 because 20 seconds of delay is a bit overkill. We talked to Maury and he agreed. Like you guys act as if we're joking, but Maury is genuinely part of all of our like board meetings.
By the way, could you hear the weird sounds in my mic, like the background, like someone's screaming?
I did hear that for a little bit, but I didn't know what it was.
That's a crow. That's an Australian crow.
Well, we'll go shoo it away. Either shoo it away or adopt it as your own.
We have a weird species here in Australia.
Oh yeah. I hear that a lot. I hear like Australia has like crazy bugs or whatever.
Yeah.
If you
I literally, you know redback spider.
I know
really
nothing about redback spiders. Okay, they're really poison. Yeah, that does sound Australian. Just extremely poisonous things.
They just look really scary as
Dude.
well. Just imagine a very fat back with the red
Oh no, he's going.
back.
He's being taken away. The FBI found him. Maury, no. Well, that's I really don't feel like doing anything about that. Maury's gone. Sorry. The government found him.
I'm only seeing it right now.
Hold on, quickly say something.
Okay, so did Maury do like an Obi-Wan equivalent where the cloak remains on the ground? And...
Yes. It's still there. great.
Yeah, so one morning something told me to wake up and like move my head away from the pillow, and sure enough, there's a redback like that started to emerge onto the pillow itself.
A redback.
That's my scary story for the day, Farewell.
What do you mean for the day? Is this like a daily occurrence?
No,
Is Australia that
I meant
poisonous?
for the audience, for the audience outside who are hearing this, that's my, I don't know, story for the day.
All right. We got a question for you from Charles Cherry. He says, General, by the way, you've now gotten more questions than I have. General Han, I'm watching a show on Netflix called Clever Man. Are you familiar with it?
Nope.
Well, there you
I
go.
don't watch TV.
I really don't watch TV much either. I'm mainly YouTube now.
Oh, by the way, because I made you admin, this private chat, only you and I can see that. Only admins can see this.
I mean, you just gave away the secret.
Well, no one will know what we discuss.
It's not a secret anymore. You told everyone. You failed me. De-admin.
Oh boy.
Shunned.
Okay, you better remove my admin privileges.
Maury's gonna blacklist you from everything now.
I think that judgment would be too extreme for anyone to bear. If Maury judges it.
Maury is the ultimate judgment.
So
you first.
Badadiz says, how do I find this Naked Bible chat? I'm part of the Facebook page. It's in the video description.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did put it in the video description as well.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to chat about, Calvin? Like anything new or what's going on with?
What's going on with me? Well, well, the whole family's a mess because Dad's gone. We don't. So Maury has to step in. Maury has to.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we have any?
But Maury did vanish just then, though.
Yeah, Maury made like Dad and he left. So we're gonna have to get Bruno then. Actually, no, we had Bruno and then he left as well. We're out of parental figures. I need an adult. Do we have anyone? Do we? Han, you are the honorary pug of the day.
Okay. Can you imagine Han Solo himself being the honorary pug? That's just the blend of realities like that is just now the universe should implode. Han Solo is a pug.
Alternate reality where all the Star Wars characters are just pugs. Can you imagine that General Grievous? He's like a mechanical pug with like 4 arms, like 4 front legs rather.
Yeah, and then the Emperor Palpatine pug does the flying through the air scream, and Yoda himself looks like a pug anyway. So that
Yoda would just be a really small, gross-looking like schnauzer. There we go. Take that, schnauzer guy, whoever that was, saying schnauzers are better than pugs.
So, saved by grace, General Han, could the feast of unleavened bread be about repentance to be worthy to escape in the rapture? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that.
Dad, if you're watching, answer it. Call me and send me a voice message, and then I'll play it for them.
Then, do you believe in the rapture? Well, let's just say that I used to hold to. So I became a Christian in 2009. I've only been in the faith for 8 years now. But I used to hold to a form of dispensational eschatology, and now I'm very comfortable in partial preterism. But at the same time, you could say I'm a leaky dispensationalist. So in regards to the rapture and in regards to Zionism and all that stuff, I don't think the rapture, as understood in dispensationalism, is what the early church thought. So I think that term is like a made up term. It's a recent term, and I think as far as the millennial kingdom is concerned, I think we're already in it. Kind of like what Michael Heiser says, already but not yet. And so, if the rapture happens, if you're to use that term, it's just the second coming of Jesus, and that's it. And,
Maury?
And then his reign. What does Maury have to say?
Get it? Because Maury is... Get it? Because it's the implication is that Maury is Jesus, the second coming of Christ.
Okay. Maury is the cloud rider. Maury is...
He's gone. He'll be back. He'll be back in 3 days.
Yeah.
I should just do a
The
stream
cloak,
3 days later
the
that's just Maury
reanimated
emerging from his crate.
I will say though that, so Saved by Grace says, I think the Exodus is the type of the rapture. Well, in Luke 9, when Jesus is speaking to Moses and Elijah, it actually says, I think it's verse 31, it says that they were discussing Jesus' Exodus that would happen in Jerusalem. So I think Exodus is more parallel with the death and resurrection of Jesus.
Okay, I actually did have a question for you earlier that I was thinking about. What kind of what elements of Star Wars in your mind are, like, if any, are influenced by like religious symbolism or religious values or something like that?
From Star Wars?
Yeah, are there comparisons that you can make that would indicate Star Wars could elements of Star Wars be inspired by or kind of paying homage to certain like religious themes, like not it being a religious story but drawing influence? Are there any is there stuff in the lore like that is what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, I think so. To be honest, I would say that movies like The Matrix has a very strong Christian overlap, but with respect to Star Wars, the whole virgin birth thing, with, I think her name was Smika, I think, Anakin's mother, or was it Shmi or Smika?
Who am I thinking of?
Either one of those two. Padme would be the...
Not Padme.
Yeah, it's Princess Amidala would be Padme.
Okay.
No, I think it was Shmi. Yeah, Shmi was the mother. She basically says, I don't know, it just happened. And so there's that, element. Then with respect to the Force, though, I don't think is connected to Christianity, because if the Force is simultaneously both dark and light, then you're bordering on a form of New Ageism.
Well, yeah, I didn't call it Christianity in particular. Yeah. I'm just wondering, because a lot of sci-fi media, when I look back at it, seems to be very inspired by religion. Like The Matrix or things like that. People can make that argument for RoboCop.
Yeah, I would argue The Matrix, like literally every scene in that movie I made a series on it Right? I decided to write down literally from the scene where Neo starts off in his apartment right through into the end of the film. And I've written a series on my channel on that, where the symbolism of the apartment, what he does, what he wears, what he says, the experience on the computer with Trinity, all of that stuff is like reminiscent to a lost person before he's saved, and how God interacts with that person. So yeah, like for example, Trinity comes from outside the system, right? Now, notice that Trinity is Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So Neo's within the system, Trinity is outside the system. So Trinity has to enter into the system to type that message. Then when the Trinity says knock knock on the screen, it's in response to the. Now notice it says knock knock twice. So when Neo presses the escape key twice, Trinity says knock knock twice, and then Choi knock knocks on the door twice. There's like this. Then it represents the Trinity as omniscient, predictive. Yeah, in that scene alone, it's just an amazing parallelism with the God of Christianity.
Well, I haven't really seen much of The Matrix yet, so I don't have much of a context for this, but me and Dad are going to watch that at some point. There's so many movies that I just haven't seen. It was only until like very recently when I ever actually like watched the original Star Wars movies like in full. Because when I was little, I'd always like lose interest and wander away because I was very scatterbrained as a small child.
Anakin is all the Watchers and the Jedi Council, the Divine Council. Yeah.
So, did you see the part of my stream on Monday when I talked about Lifetime movies and just kind of made fun of them a bit?
Lifetime movies?
Yeah, you know the Lifetime Movie Network? Okay.
No.
Think of like movies moms would watch, but like by themselves with like their other friends who are moms. Like, it's super tame, and like all of the characters are like very likable Mary Sue type of people, and like there's kind of a villain in them most of the time, but there's not really much of a conflict, and all the movies are bad, but like they're safe to watch in case like your like 3-year-old son wanders in. Like they're just really boring movies.
Right.
So there's this actor, Eric Roberts, who was in The Dark Knight, who has been in some of the Lifetime movies. The Lifetime movies he's been in are Stalked by My Doctor 1 and 2, where he plays the doctor who's
Stalked by my doctor.
Stalked by my doctor, right? So
Stalked. Oh wow.
So I had a section of the stream yesterday where I just went through his IMDb page and looked at all the strange movies he's been in. Okay? And I probably spent so much time talking about this. He is working on a movie called Homie Alone. Homie Alone.
Homie Alone.
Homie Alone.
As in HOMIE.
Yes.
Homie.
Homie Alone.
Yo, homie, how you doing?
Yeah, it's like Home Alone, but it's Homie Alone, right? You ever seen Home Alone?
Oh my god! Just added like
yeah.
About yeah.
So, and like the summary makes it look like the Home Alone movie, but when you open up, hold on, I'm gonna have to send this to you. This is too good, but just. So I want you to look at the art for this, and hold on, let me send you a link to the picture. just look at this picture. This is actually like the poster for the movie. All right? And I'll put it up on screen for the people watching at home, okay?
Yeah, that guy on the bottom right, the way he's looking.
Do you know who the guy in the bottom
You know
right
the-
is?
No, I don't know.
He's I had to look this up to be sure. That's Ron Jeremy.
Ah, okay.
Ron Jeremy and Eric
Yeah.
Roberts are in a 2018 remake of the Home Alone series called Homie Alone.
Is just quickly, is homie is that a derogative term, or is that all right? Like, is that
Do they
like,
not
if I
have
said-
that word in Australia land?
not really?
Homie is like
Nah.
homie basically
I mean,
is a word people use to substitute like, well, forgive me for using the most Australian word in existence, but like mate or whatever. You're like, yo, homie.
Oh, okay.
What's
No,
up?
mate is fine. Yeah.
But homie generally has this connotation in the States where you sound like an idiot if you say it. Like
Okay.
like homie is kind of like calling someone dog. Like, it's really hard to pull off, and most of the time people would just rather you say pal or something, or literally anything but homie.
Okay, so is it like the way you phonetically sound the word? Like if you stuff it up, then
Like homie.
Yeah.
Does language like work differently outside of like it just homie? I don't understand the question.
no, I meant, are you saying that so as me as an Australian, if I said hey homie, it can come across as really cringe. if
I mean,
do
it just
right.
cringe whenever anyone says it. Really, to me,
Ah, okay.
it's really just one of those words, like, you know.
So yeah, Australians say hey mate, or I mean the mate word actually has become a little bit more bland in its usage. So now
What is the
we're
new
kinda-
mate?
so the new mate would be equivalent to like hey boy,
Hey
or
boy.
hey bro, or
No, I mean, like,
yeah boy.
You said it's becoming stale. Like, what are you guys saying instead now?
So a lot of the surfy lingo has started to creep into the language, because now more Australians are surfing, and like that typical surfy like way of talking
Like, hey,
is
like, talking like you're stoned out of your mind.
well, well, I wouldn't be surprised if that takes place within the next few years. Like,
You just kind of gotta like catch the wave, bro.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly the way Australians are not talking. You just hit the nail on the head.
Oh, I feel so proud of myself right now. You have no idea.
See, for example, Vincent, what he
Vincent?
just typed.
Vincent
Yeah,
says,
Vincent Artel is like
Yeah, basically.
that. Yeah, that's another way. That's Australians usually say that sort of thing.
But like, the kind of implication that phrase would have in Australia probably has different implications in the States, because like certain curse words here mean like nothing in foreign countries. Like, have you ever heard an Irish person talk? It's like that.
Yes, but I mean, I heard Conor McGregor talk.
I want to do like a MIQLAT stream where we get some people together and we just well, maybe not a stream, but I want to do. Me and Dad have been tossing this idea around for a while, but we want to do. You know what Mystery Science Theater 3000 is?
Mystery Science Tutor.
Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Nope.
Okay, well, basically, it was this old. It started as like an underground like network show, and it was basically like a comedy show where it was this guy. I think the first guy's name was Joel, right? And he had these two robot friends, and they would just watch crappy movies together and make fun of them. So, do you know who H3H3 Productions is, or anyone like that?
Yeah, I think I've come across that.
It's basically like H3H3 before YouTube was the thing, and it's a really,
okay.
really, really great show. I would highly recommend it. But me and Dad were thinking about doing a YouTube series like that where we just looked at really, really bad movies. And Stalked by My Doctor is really high on my list of things I want to cover.
Mm.
Like I really want to I really want to introduce Dad to Stalked by My Doctor. It's one of the worst things I've ever
Right.
seen. It's so bad. We're really running out of material.
Unfortunately, so Thomas Jackson, is that Han Solo? Yes, this is Han Solo. And Saved by Grace is asking theological questions, and I'm trying to keep up with Calvin's
I'm not very qualified.
knowledge about the film stuff, which...
If you have any answers to these questions, just answer them. Oh my gosh.
Well, in fact, I have a question for you, Calvin.
Go for it.
How I mean, you're the son of Michael Heiser, so obviously there's a little bit of a, I guess you could say, like a celeb status, perspective with respect to your dad. So how do you reflect on that, or is it just normal everyday life for you, or is there some form of like maybe people at school or at university would approach you going, hey, I've got questions for your dad, like what is there a difference,
Honestly,
or is it just
oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
if you know what I'm getting at? Yeah. No, go ahead.
Honestly, it doesn't really happen that often. I go to, the campus I go to is pretty liberal, so I'm guessing like none of them are looking up like theological videos. And most of the time when that... Oh, hey, Armin. My cat is... Armin, this is a touchscreen enabled computer. Please don't rub against it. What did I just say? Oh, yeah, you don't speak English. That's right. But most of the time when it happens, it's when I ride along with Dad to some kind of a conference. We went to this place in Chicago, right? He did a little talk in Chicago, and then we saw a Cubs game, which was great. I love the Cubs. But we went to this talk. Wait, do you even know what the Cubs are, first off?
I think it's
It's a baseball team.
Is it a football team or something like a...
Basically, the Cubs are this team that tons of people like, and they had a curse for the longest time where they would never be able to win a World Series. There was this guy, right, who was trying to enter a Cubs World Series game, and he had like a goat with him, and they wouldn't let him bring the goat in. And as he left, this guy with the goat said to the man running the stand, I put a curse on you, or something like that, right? And then he left. And ever since then, this was like over... This was years and years and years ago. Was this over 100 years ago? I don't think. It was maybe like 70 or 80. Or something like that. But ever since then, every shot they've had at winning the World Series or getting into the World Series has been like extinguished by some event they couldn't have planned for. Like one of the games that would have put them in the World Series, like some spectator just reached out and grabbed a ball, so it counted as audience interference, and like the thing had to be the play had to be thrown out or whatever. I'm using vague terms because I don't know what the real terms are, but like this guy just did something, random and ruined it for them, and like things have just been going on like that for years and years. But they finally won the World Series in 2016. So we went to see a game after that happened. But yeah, we were in Chicago, and there was this guy who knew my dad because he was going to he was going to one of his talks, but he and a couple other guys who watched Dad's stuff, met up with him at this little country restaurant. We all sat down. We had food. And this guy, he's a magician. Like that's his. I don't know if that's his career, but he definitely does stuff with it. He's really good with magic, sleight of hand, stuff like that.
Talk about probably the most random thing to like come across a guy like who's a magician. It's just, I mean, at least here in Australia, it would be rare to come across someone like that.
Do people in Australia not do magic? I mean, I guess they already live in a fantasy world where like everything can kill you, so there's no reason to do anything like that.
If you're talking about real occult stuff, yeah, that stuff actually does go on.
You got a bunch of people worshiping.
Quite a bit.
You got a bunch of people worshiping Haster or whatever like that.
Who? Pastors? Like worshipping pastors?
No. Haster, Hastur. He's like a he's like a cultic figure or something. I'm pretty sure he's fictional.
Oh no, I don't know. Yeah.
Man, I knew a guy who was super into that. It was crazy, man.
But yeah, no, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, we met this magician guy, and he was really cool. I can't remember his name for the life of me. He had kind of a plain name, but Dad did talk at a university, so I kind of just sat in the back room, because what he was talking about we'd already basically fully discussed on all the car rides there. So by the time the talk's actually there, I'm not really paying much attention. So I'm just like sitting in the back of this giant lecture hall looking at like Magic the Gathering cards. I must have looked like the biggest like jerk ever.
Right.
I mean, Magic the Gathering is important. Those are where my priorities lie.
So it's a bit of, yes, he's well known. Yes, I guess you could say he's accomplished, that sort of thing. But at the same time, it's just it is normal life at the end of the day. It's not, like say the Kardashians or something.
Oh wait, no, I just remembered. An even like a story where like we actually met someone who like didn't go out of their way to see us on the street. So we went to it's this place around here. I don't want to say the name of it because I don't want to name drop this guy in case whatever. But this guy was working at the store that sells microphones, right? So we go there, and he helps us find some microphones. The microphone I'm using right now, as well as the pop filter, we got at that store. So we're checking out, and this guy is just sitting there, and we mentioned that we're getting the stuff for a podcast, and he's like, and he just recognizes my dad because he was like struggling in the faith, and Dad's podcast like brought him back to Christianity and stuff like that. And we just talked to him for a while, and then we checked out the stuff and left. He was a really cool dude. If he's listening, he probably isn't, because there's only like how many people here? Not a lot of people here. But hey, if you are listening, shop guy, you were pretty cool.
Shop guy.
Shop guy is what I'm gonna call him.
So then what, I don't know if this is too personal a question, but like, what about yourself? Any particular ambitions, or like, what area of study would you like to go into, or?
I want to make video content, whether that means do something like my dad does, or make movies, or make YouTube videos. Because ever since I was, when I was a little kid, right, I really enjoyed watching YouTube. I really enjoyed things like Mystery Science before YouTube. I liked things like Mystery Science Theater. I liked things that weren't really super professionally made or super clean, things like that. I liked things like Mystery Science Theater. I liked content where it's more personality based rather than super high budget. Look at all the special effects we got based. And ever since then, I think as a result of watching tons of Mystery Science Theater, I've always wanted to become either a filmmaker or someone who reviews movies and do stuff on YouTube. But because the way American outrage culture is, that's a bit less of an option than it was at the time. Now
Hmm.
ads, like I'm sure you know what happens to ads on YouTube, like what's happened, the ad apocalypse or whatever.
Right.
I mean, like do you know about that?
I think so. Like, you're talking about. Are you getting at the whole monetization thing on YouTube?
Yeah, like basically everyone's getting
Yeah.
demonetized, things like that. People say it's because of PewDiePie. I disagree, or I think it would have happened anyway without what he did. Rather,
Wait, you mean even PewDiePie is
PewDiePie is making
he's completely.
like he's making $100 a video now. Like sure that's gonna be a lot for some people. Actually, I think it's a bit higher than that. But he's making like 5% of what he used to. Like he doesn't have an office
So
anymore. Like he's back
that's
to making videos
reduced
at his
down to-
house. He's the
So
number
what-
one YouTuber. Like 68 million subscribers. He's at the point where he can't afford good internet, so he has to record his videos and do his live streams at like an Airbnb
But then
because
what-
that's the cheaper option.
You mean to say he all those millions he earned prior, like he just used them up?
I'm saying that what he's earning right now is very, very, very reduced. And it's very, very
but-
hard to make a
but
living on YouTube
surely-
unless you're like Jake Paul.
But surely, I mean, if he's earning all those millions prior, like surely he should have a lot of surplus. That
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
I'm sure he
he
has some
shouldn't be living from
surplus,
his house.
but he's barely earning anything. And for one reason or
Wow,
another,
okay.
he ditched the office and he ditched the nice apartment. I'm not his banker. I don't know exactly what's in his bank account, but I can assume things are going pretty poorly because of all the changes in his environment. And
Okay.
he's the biggest guy. Like the only people I can think of who are really doing good on YouTube are these like super safe, super like PG rated like vloggers, like you know Jake Paul.
Yeah, PewDiePie is a big troll, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like now the content it's like the content YouTube wants is like you either have to be Jimmy Kimmel or you either have to be super clean. I freaking hate all these late night shows. How everything I see in my recommended is either Jimmy Kimmel. It's all Jimmys. Why is all these Jimmys with their late
Yeah,
night shows? I'm sick of it.
I hate to say this, especially to all the Americans that's listening. Australians have a genuine dislike for Jimmy. They actually don't mind Conan, and they don't mind any of the other like late night show that happens to be broadcasted here on Australian television. But there's something about Jimmy, and I think his attitude toward life. Like for example, the last Oscars.
Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Fallon would be the guy that laughs a lot, right? Like he's
Yeah.
the one that, and I think he had a broken finger or something.
Yeah,
and he had, like the band-aid on. Yeah. No, so it's not Jimmy Fallon. This would be Jimmy Kimmel. So there are Australians, and it's especially, for example, my own dad. He's into movies, and so when the Oscars come on, in some respects, believe it or not, non-Americans, so in this case Australians or even any European that happens to be watching it, they have a genuine interest in this thing called the Oscars.
Yeah.
And when Jimmy Kimmel was hosting the Oscars, I think Ellen DeGeneres hosted the Oscars last time, if I'm not mistaken. So either the last Oscars or the Oscars prior, when he was hosting it,
I think it was the last Oscars.
Okay, he passed a remark. So during the Oscars, they give respect to the actors and actresses that passed away the prior year.
Yeah.
So I think this is before Carrie Fisher passed away. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, it has to be. I'm pretty sure it was the Oscars in 2015, but speaking about the deaths of 2014, and obviously Carrie Fisher would be December of 2015. So now Jimmy Kimmel passed remarks saying, "Wow, look at all these great actors and actresses. Like we're talking, like for example, the Willy Wonka actor passed away. So
Gene. No, I don't remember what his name is. Gene Wilder.
yeah, Gene, yeah. So
Okay.
so I think he passed away obviously prior to the 2015 Oscars. So really great actors passed away. So he's like he passed his remarks saying next year's list will have to beat this list, and it's just a remark like that just you don't really say that, like you don't pass off a like a joke sort of. So I don't know, but it's just little things like that cause people to dislike Jimmy Kimmel.
I just don't like Jimmy Kimmel because he's super self-righteous and way too political in like everything he does. Like,
Right.
I don't care if he has opinions, but ultimately, he's running a late night talk show. He's not running CNN. I don't tune in to Jimmy Kimmel to hear what he thinks of like the new legislation. I tune into Jimmy Kimmel. Well, I mean, I don't tune into Jimmy Kimmel to find something funny to watch because I don't think he's funny. But hypothetically, if I had really poor taste in late night show hosts, I'd go to Jimmy Kimmel and I'd try to find something funny. But no, he's just way too political now. Everything's gotten super political. Like even the Oscars, like people can't go 2 seconds without like grandstanding about their politics. It's annoying.
Yeah. The inclusion of Trump into the whole, like when we saw what's the name? She's like the queen actress of the Oscars and like of Hollywood
Lawrence?
in general.
Jennifer Lawrence.
No. She'd be in her 60s. Like she's like Meryl Streep.
Oh
Meryl
yeah,
Streep.
okay. I know who you're talking about.
That's another thing. So when we're talking Oscars, say prior, like say maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Obviously, when I was a lot younger. So what I've noticed as of recent is that I don't know what it is, but the whole social justice warrior thing and this rise of this radical feminism, and I've noticed that like pillars of Hollywood, and obviously this would be Meryl Streep. There's a certain sense of you have to walk a certain way, you have to say certain things, you have to like appreciate certain people in order to please certain people. In this case, the women of the guild who may receive awards, or who might refer to Meryl Streep or something. They act like as if she is the queen. Like they have to like position themselves in a certain way because, oh look, Meryl Streep is looking at us, sort of thing. It's like I've noticed that as of late. There's that sort of element of like,
I think you'll
like
be safe.
she controls the show, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. Yeah. Here's what you do. To be safe for the Oscars or any like film thing, just repeat after me, and no one will disturb you. Repeat after me. The new Ghostbusters was great. Just say that. They'll turn their heads. It'll be great. It'll be fine.
The new Ghostbusters was great.
There you go. We got him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what's funny to me? Like people like to act like a certain, political side is like dominating in media or whatever. Like you go to Twitter and like all the boosted replies are like of people who are supporting these things, and then you go to YouTube where things aren't super moderated, dislikes. Like the new Ghostbusters trailer, one of the most disliked videos ever.
Right.
Like, YouTube is really against that stuff. It's pretty funny.
By the way, I think just quickly, some of the questions in the chat, like they're asking us the NAR. Maybe we should quickly answer that.
What's the NAR? Do they mean the NRA?
The new.
No, I'm genuinely asking. I don't know many acronyms.
Yeah, no. It's so basically, I myself didn't know about the NAR until your dad introduced it on his podcast. So apparently, it's this thing called the New Apostolic Reformation, And now, just a little bit of a caveat to this. When I became a Christian in 2009, the book I read. So one of the guys who inspired me to look into Christianity obviously would be my grandfather first and foremost. But by the way, Calvin, I was 21 years of age when I became a Christian in 2009.
All right.
So I read a book by an author named Dave Hunt, and I'm sure people in the in the chat will recognize this person named Dave Hunt. So he ran a ministry called the Berean Call, and he wrote a book titled The Seduction of Christianity. And this is back in the 80s when he wrote this book. And so back then he was speaking about things in the church that blend a form of New Ageism into, Christian worship and so on. So kind of the whole placebo effect, but with a Christian veneer.
You said there's something called
And
the
so
call.
Sorry?
You mentioned there was something involved with this called the call, or something like that. Because I'm just looking this up, and there's a website called the call.
Oh, there's something called a call with this. Okay.
Like is that involved?
I don't know. I don't know. You just have to type in New Apostolic Reformation and see if the call is connected to that.
I'm just looking at the official Wikipedia page, and I'm looking at the external links and all the official websites. And
Okay.
the call official website is the first thing that pops up when I look at it. It kind of looks cultic. It looks a bit culty.
Okay, then maybe that could be it. Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
So Seduction of Christianity was, I would consider that book, like, I'm going to use this word very carefully. I would consider that book to be prophetic. So I'm not saying Dave Hunt was a prophet. He was a genuine, well-grounded Protestant Christian, like Reformed and all that. But what he wrote in that book was a certain insight he was noticing back in the 80s in regards to what was happening to Protestant Christianity, and that is this inclusion of New Age thinking and all that stuff that was then warping the way people worship God in a church service. So the whole Word of Faith movement, people like Joel Osteen, in fact, I remember watching a Joel Osteen sermon where he literally turns to the crowd and says,
Joel Osteen?
Imagine God's... Yeah, Joel
Oh,
Osteen
okay.
would be the...
I think I know what you're talking about. Anyway, just carry on before I forget.
Yeah. So he turns to his congregation and says, imagine God smiling down at you. Now, the key word here would be imagine, because it's to denote that you have to... It's kind of like a placebo. You have to think of God as a cosmic placebo, that when you invoke a type of feeling in your worship or in your perspective of God. So rather than say, for example, the psalmist that says, I muse about your law, or I think about your law and I meditate on it. So the psalmist and ancient Christianity would encompass an intellectual form of worship, where you intellectually...
One moment.
As Maury returns.
Come here, man. Let me put him on the screen real quick. See this? This is and he's gone. Atticus, come back.
And he's gone.
Atticus, come back. Look at him. Look at that face. Ooh. I mean, he's hiding his face. But anyway.
Everyone is like, oh no.
Anyway, continue with what you're saying.
Okay. So ancient Christianity had a form of creedal type of faith, because when you read the creeds, it's an intelligent faith. There's an intelligence involved in the way it's structured and all that stuff. But when you read the type of, say, worship songs today, A lot of the phrases are repetitious. Uh, there's no substance to any of the songs. It's very alpha mind. So the music will play along an alpha mind sort of feel good in the moment sort of, and again, it's like a new agey sort of, thing.
Yeah, I'm
And
not a big fan of the newer gospel songs, honestly.
right. I mean, there are certain songs that, like, I won't deny that there would be the rare, hill song that really, can spark up an emotional response in a good way. But far too often I've noticed that um, the only time that the person will start to feel good in a church service, and I've seen this myself, like I attend a church that's very modern, metro, that sort of thing. The only time that they'll start to get really excited and they'll jump on their feet is when the moment the piano starts to play, obviously an electric piano, and uh, and then it goes into that mood of you know repetitious mantra. It's quite unusual. I even though I was an atheist prior to 21 years of age, my family comes from a very traditional, church context, like Catholic and Protestant. So I even before I became a Christian, I've experienced what you could call traditional church worship, in the sense that I would appreciate the 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 way the old hymns were written, how the church service was conducted and so on. But yeah, Dave Hunt, when he wrote that book, I was fascinated to see how it was like a real. I mean, can you imagine an atheist reading that book and then slowly noticing, say, first century biblical Christianity as something quite authentic in relation to the counterfeits that started to creep into the church sort of thing. And I started, so through that book I started to realize uh, why my atheism was even to begin with, because of these counterfeit sort of Christianities that resonated in the 80s onward. So that's the just to give everyone a context as to how I resonated with this NAR sort of thing. So when I came across this NAR for the first time, I was like, wow, this is nothing new. And basically, Calvin, it's just a a system of belief that there are certain people in this world at the moment who literally claim that they are no different to the first apostles of Jesus, that they have literally the same privileged status and power and like spiritual gifts and all that stuff that the first apostles had. And so now you're bordering again on this cultish and, in this case, spiritual, new agey sort of perspective.
What do you mean by cultish?
Yeah,
Or cultic or whatever?
cultish in the sense that you want to dissociate yourself from
Non-believers or whatever?
basically you're the only way. So like for example, if you have a Calvinist and an Arminian and a Roman Catholic in the same room, and then obviously say you have a Mormon, right, a Mormon or a Jehovah's Witness walk in. Now you and I would be sensible enough to say, or the Roman Catholic, the Arminian, and the Calvinists will be sensible enough to say that those three would go to heaven in some sense. Like we would all agree that we all agree on the essentials. Obviously, there'll be in-house debates on. In this case, the Roman Catholic will be speaking about works, and then the Calvinists will be speaking about predestination. Like obviously, there's this in-house debate on those issues, but generally speaking, you will not find those three individuals, tell each other, "Oh, you have to be a Calvinist in order to be saved," or something like that. But the Jehovah's Witnesses will walk in saying, "You have to be a Jehovah's Witness to be saved. Like you need to be part of the Watchtower." So that's what I'm getting at, and this NAR seems to border on that type of cultish attitude.
Yeah, based on the way that you're describing it, I can kind of understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was looking at the call thing I was talking about. I'm not sure if that's related. It's on the official Wikipedia page, but I can't really find a correlation outside of that. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough because I'm only looking at the top results of YouTube.
Maybe I'll do a. Let me do a
do your science stuff.
Google search. Yeah. New Apostolic Reformation. All right, let's see.
I mean, I can understand why they'd want to believe it, because think about being able to say, "Hey, you know the apostles? I'm one of them." Like being able to say that and it being true would be kind of cool, right? I can understand why they'd want to believe this. I'm not endorsing it though. It's like you're probably crazy, or at least wrong.
Yeah. So, for example, and even Michael Brown came on.
Michael Brown?
Now, for example, yeah, Michael Brown would be the Jewish scholar.
Okay.
That he runs a radio show called Line of Fire, which your dad actually was a guest on a few times. So they're good friends. And Michael Brown comes from a charismatic perspective,
where like people speak in tongues or whatever.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he himself, like, so your dad had another podcast, because a lot, like the moment he introduced NAR, everyone was like, "Oh, what is this?" And it sparked a little bit of a discussion, and so he was like, "Okay, I guess let's have Michael Brown on the show." So even Michael Brown, coming from a charismatic context, he himself was very skeptical and wary about this NAR stuff. Yeah. So NAR, like I'm seeing on the Wikipedia article, it says NAR has supernatural signs and wonders such as healing, demonic deliverance, and confirmed prophecies accompany the move of God.
So
now you see that.
So it's like people who want to like LARP like Bible stories in the modern day.
Yes. And I mean, I don't deny, like I'll give everyone a story, because I was born in India. And I left India in 1997.
All right.
When I was at the age of 9. Now, at the age of 5, I was, in fact, I'll give 2 stories. So at the age of 5, either 4 or 5, in the year 94, the famous American film came out, Independence Day, with Will Smith. And I think I was 5 years at the time.
Did you like it?
Well, this may creep you out a little bit, but so about 2 weeks prior, like I have a pretty good memory. Like I can remember things going back to like when I was 3 years of age. Now, at the age of 5, I clearly remember before the movie came out, because India, so in Hyderabad, India, there's a little bit of a political religious tension in that region at the time between Muslims and Hindus. And because we were living in a mostly Muslim centric city, the family had to give me over to my grandparents for about a year in order to keep me safe.
Like, so, what would have happened if they didn't do that?
Or things like kidnapping would happen, that sort of things.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Is that
So
a big thing in India?
no,
Like, is that a danger?
oh yeah, oh yeah, it's a big thing. Yeah.
Alright.
Um, so when the movie came out, I remember I remember being in the hallway of my grandparents' house, and then it was like at night, and I remember my family, my parents, they came to visit, and I remember them discussing, hey, this movie came out, let's have a family night out, and which is very rare, by the way. Yeah, it's like, if there's like a family event, you're talking once every 6 months or something like that. And now, 2 weeks prior to that night, which is the movie night, I had a horrendous dream because in India you have what's you have 4 festivals during the year. One of the festivals is the festival to Shiva. So Kali and Shiva would be the god of destruction and death and suffering and so on.
Cherry.
And so sorry.
That's sounds like a very cheery time, like a festival dedicated to the god of, or the spirit of suffering,
Well,
death,
this is
destruction,
every year. This
annihilation.
is yeah. So in Hinduism, each of the gods, like Hanuman is the monkey god. So if you're a Hindu, or even Ganesha is the elephant god, like you may have seen the elephant god picture.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen like
it,
pictures of these things.
right. So they symbolize things in life. So, for example, Hanuman, the monkey god, symbolizes clumsiness, even though there's a long traditional story on what Hanuman represents. And Ganesha would be the elephant god, so Ganesha represents memory. So Kali and Shiva, they represent, destruction and death. So you have all these gods that represent certain aspects of life, and the festivals that would happen during the year would be like the key, kind of like our Easter or Christmas, that sort of thing, but in that
They're like the
context.
staple holidays. Like
Yes,
they're the
yeah,
ones everyone knows. All right.
right. So 2 weeks prior to the movie night, there was a festival, most likely I think to Shiva, and you'll hear so houses are literally right next to the main roads, and you'd have the gurus and the witch doctors, and you'd have this loud commotion all night, like all this um, spices that they'll throw in the air, and the smoke and the incense, and like all night you'll be hearing the drums and smelling this festival that's happening outside your house. Um, and that night I had the weirdest dream. and and don't forget, I'm just 5 years of age. I haven't come across any horror films. I haven't seen any grotesque pictures or something like that. But I dreamt I was um, in a cave, but it was completely, think of it like as if you're in a spherical ball. So there's no tunnels or anything. There's
A
no windows. It's just
perfectly
this
spherical
spherical,
chamber.
yeah, like a spherical chamber.
All right.
And in that chamber, there's like a throne where you have this figure that kind of looks like, H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu, that
Cthulhu,
weird.
the tentacle guy.
Yeah, that, yeah.
Yeah, he and Maury have been
Now,
talking. It's crazy.
right. So I had, like, only now when I came across that, which would be obviously years later, I was like, wow, that looks exactly like that thing I was seeing in my dream. Now, now that was 2 weeks prior,
Yeah.
and when the movie came out for Independence Day. So imagine a 5-year-old that's been having sleepless nights for the last 2 weeks because of that weird dream, right? Like you're just freaked out by
But
that.
like, what else happened in the dream? Did you just see it and that was it, or did something else happen?
No, it was as if I was so frightened in that dream. It's like you're just stuck and you're just frozen and you're just looking at this thing for like hours. You're just stuck in that mode. Like you can't escape, and until maybe morning light takes place, and then you wake up, and then you know exit the dream.
Yeah.
But you're just stuck in stasis. Um, and so I couldn't sleep properly. Um, but yeah, when the movie came out,
Calvin,
What? Wait 1 second. What?
are you still not?
Yeah, I'm still live.
Calvin, you need to get off.
Mom, we're in. We're
And
in.
you need to take Atticus a pee.
Yes, I can do that.
I know, well.
I'll end it in 15 minutes,
Okay.
because then it will be a perfect 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, that's what the last one was. I'm at least trying to be consistent. We got
Actually
people.
watching you?
Yeah, we got people who participate in the chat who've been here since the beginning.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Anyway,
that's all right.
proceed.
Say hi to mom.
Hi, Mom. Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, when the movies came, and then when we went into the cinema, you can well imagine a 5-year-old seated for the first time. That was literally my first cinema experience. This massive screen, and the movie starts, and you're seeing, you know, the big UFO go over the city, and you're seeing all this fantastic stuff, and you're just like, whoa, look at that. And then the creepy part started. In fact, the very line itself stuck with me when the freaky scientist was like, "Welcome to the freak show."
I don't know.
And
I
remember,
genuinely haven't actually seen Independence Day.
oh, okay. Well, there's so this is about midway through the film where they land in Area 51, the president and those who survived the attack,
Yeah.
and then it's revealed that these aliens came prior, and they actually found the wreckage. And in this case, this would be the Roswell connection. So they already had 3 of these aliens in preserved, you know, cylinders, human size, but the skulls. So there's 3 of them lined up, and the middle one, the alien in the middle, obviously just the skull feature, it looked exactly like the skull feature I was seeing in my dream 2 weeks prior. Now I can't explain that, but you can well imagine a 5-year-old seeing that on a big screen of all places,
Yeah.
and then just being absolutely freaked out by that, because it's just like I'm seeing that same face again. And obviously then later in the film you actually see another, in this case one that's alive, and so obviously moving around and animated, which then really just threw me off the edge. So now why did I even start bringing this up? I was trying to connect it to something.
We were talking about the NAR and weird cult stuff. But yeah, it is weird when I look back at some dreams that I used to have when I was a kid, and some of them did have very strange, almost like cultic themes to them that I should have had no concept of when I was a child. Like I had this recurring nightmare when I was younger that I don't remember the first part of it. I only remember the last part of it, because the last part of it was the thing that was consistent. But I remember somehow being transported to an attic somewhere, and there was this small like child, and this is when I was like maybe like 7 or 8. But there was a small girl, this little blonde child, in the attic, and she's there, in front of me, and in like a circle around me are these like figures that I can't see their faces because they all have like dark cloaks and there's shadow over their face, and then I wake up, but like have you ever had some kind of knowledge of something while in a dream that didn't actually occur in the dream? Like what I mean by this is when the dream ended, or when I was close to the dream, when everything went black, I somehow had known in that moment that I was dead, and then I wake up. And I had that like multiple times. It was a crazy.
You mean when it starts to go into like a black void and then you wake up?
Yeah. It was like, okay, well
Yeah,
I'm dead.
I can I can relate to that. Yeah, I think I've had similar. Like in fact, I could relate to that to that 5-year-old experience as well. Like
Things that you shouldn't have a concept of.
you start to like transition from you start to feel like you have motion. You're going from this world that you're in somehow, and then you like transition out of it. It becomes a void, and then you wake up.
I hate movement in dreams because there's a common theme that are in my nightmares where I'll be in a situation that a normal person should be able to get out of, but my movements are very like slow and staggery, and I'm falling all over the place, like I've been drugged or something like that.
Mm.
Like this is gonna sound off topic until I explain it. Do you know the game Outlast?
Sorry, do I think what?
Do you know of the game Outlast?
Outlast?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, in the game, well, for those who don't know, in the game, there's a section, or well, there are these sections where you're, where you basically have to solve some kind of open world puzzle while constantly being pursued by something in like a horror movie style. And I had, uh, and I would have these nightmares where there's some objective I have to fulfill to make this scary experience stop happening, but I'm like too like uncoordinated to do anything about it because I'm tripping all over the place. Not tripping over objects, just like falling over asleep, things like that. My nightmares always have really druggy, sluggish motion in them, which I don't
right.
particularly enjoy.
I will say though, as of late, um, I've been dreaming a lot less. Maybe it's because of stressful life, I guess, or like busy schedule. But with the moment when I go to sleep, the next thing I know is it's morning and I'm just awake. Like any form of transition, just it's like a blink of an eye. So yeah, I haven't been dreaming much lately, but whenever I do, it's a little bit odd. It's usually it's not. That's the thing. It's not a horror dream anymore. It's not like I get horror dreams. It's more maybe I'm thinking of a person, or maybe I don't know. It's just usually those type of like very brief sort of dreams.
Yeah,
Um,
my dreams
yeah.
have become very infrequent, but now they're the sluggish thing doesn't happen as much. But now my dreams, in particularly, I'm mostly referring to negative dreams because those are the ones that I don't have dreams when I do. They're usually negative, but a lot of my nightmares have become really really violent, and I don't know if if that says something about me or about my situation or not.
You mean you've been getting more violent dreams?
Yeah, like dreams where violent things happen.
Okay. I mean that could be connected maybe if you're into games at the moment, or maybe
I
certain movies you
mean,
may be watching.
I don't really know. I've always been a fan of uh, media of any sort. Like I'm very different from my father in the sense that I don't really care what is depicted in media. I don't mind violent movies or games or anything like that.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
I would consider myself to be a pretty friendly person, but hey, I have 400 hours in Left 4 Dead 2, things like that. But
Mm.
it's like all of a sudden that this has been happening, and I haven't even been playing many violent games lately. I've been on my Starbound kick lately, where I'm just exploring space, or in VR games or whatever. But yeah, I don't know why it's just happening more like that.
Mm.
I'm gonna give the 5 minute warning for Calvin. Stop reading horror books seriously. I don't read horror books. I don't read a whole lot of books lately. I still read stories and fiction, but I haven't. It's been a long time since I purchased a book and actually read it. The last book I read was "If at Birth You Don't Succeed" by Zach Anner, I think his name is.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So Zach Anner has I don't know what his condition is, but he's permanently bound to a wheelchair, and like I think he has like really severe cerebral palsy or something like that, his where he gets like mostly like the body effect of it, right? Like he's misshapen and things like that. But
Okay.
yeah, but he's been very, very good about it. He has a YouTube channel where he makes tons of videos. He's a comedian. He's really, really funny. One of my favorite people on the internet right now. And he made a book called "If at Birth You Don't Succeed," where he talks about his life as someone who as someone who has cerebral palsy, and he talks about all the stuff he's done in his life. And he was on like an Oprah game show to make some kind of to make like a documentary or something. He was in like one of those contests, and he won, and he got to meet Oprah, and he got to do all these shows. Now he's doing all this stuff on YouTube. He has a very, very interesting life. I would highly recommend his book, "If at Birth You Don't Succeed." This isn't sponsored by him, but I just felt like saying that. Really good book.
Interesting.
He's got a very witty, funny way he writes things. They're very enjoyable. His books. His book. I don't know if he's made a second. I hope he does. Well, then again, that a lot more would have to happen in his life. I'd have to wait like 30 years. Is there is there anything else you want to go over before we end the stream?
I know people have been dying to get into theology stuff, but there's only so much. Like, for example, tribulation is not coming. Tribulation is part of the church. So, Saved by Grace has been asking a lot of questions.
I'll go back and screenshot some of these and send them to Dad.
Yeah.
Because I know my dad is Michael Heiser and everything, but like when I was born, I wasn't born with his knowledge. I don't know nearly as much as he does about the Bible. Most of the stuff going on in my mind is movies, politics, games, stories, historical figures. I'm really not as well versed in the Bible as he is. Not by a long shot.
I guess maybe I have a question for you. Have you always been Christian, or did you ever have a moment of like, I'll remain an agnostic for now, maybe in your high school years or something, and then maybe I'm presuming a lot. Maybe, obviously you can give your perspective.
My stance is generally I am a Christian. There have been times when I think I would have leaned more towards agnostic, because this isn't something I can scientifically prove or disprove, right?
Right.
And the way my mind works is very inclined to what can be definitively proven or disproven. And because this kind of falls into neither, I have shifted between Christian and agnostic. I would say the majority, I would say right now and for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been a Christian. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Like, I think it's going to take some like insane discoveries to make me like really shift from where I am now.
You mean shift towards agnosticism?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
I could never see myself in a place where I would go full atheist, like, oh, there is no God. I think there is something. At the very least, I truly believe there is something, and I think Christianity is the most probable thing.
I gather that say that the type of questions that are asked, say, in the outside chat, like, I gather similar type questions would have obviously been asked, say, during, say, family dinner time or something, where there'll be like a discussion at the table on this Bible fact or this Bible question. Like, has that ever happened?
Most of the talks that we have at the dinner table are because here's the thing. It might seem like maybe, and this is the kind of implication I get from talking to people who know my dad, but there seems to be this like thought or faux understanding that like we just only talk about the Bible and that's all we
Yeah.
talk about. Most of the stuff on the dinner
Yeah,
table is separate from that.
Yeah.
Sure, we do talk about it, but in generally, a lot of the conversations we have are just kind of things normal people would say or normal people would
Yeah,
talk about.
yeah.
Yeah, there is some religious element to our discussions, but it doesn't. It's not like our main thing that we talk about.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the main thing that we've been talking about is whether or not we're gonna, or not whether or not, when we're gonna see the new Blade Runner, because
Oh man,
we're excited
you
about
have
that.
to see the new Blade Runner. That's literally become. I mean, maybe we can close on this, but that's
No
literally
spoilers.
become. Oh yeah, I am so so close to trying to
I
spoil it,
really
but
want to
no,
see the new one, but I haven't seen the original. And me and my dad, we're gonna get the whole family together. We're gonna watch the original, and then we're gonna go out and see the new one.
yeah, that movie is now my new favorite. Like that.
Like,
This might
is it
sound
better than the
shocking.
original?
Oh yes,
Really?
and this might sound shocking, but I think the new Blade Runner, for now, is probably better than Star Wars.
Well, in that case,
It's,
I really can't wait to see it.
as I mean, I'm saying that obviously not. I'm not talking about just the visuals and just the sound. And I'm talking
Like from a
about
story perspective.
this. Sorry.
From the story perspective, like narrative,
Yes.
things like that.
Everything. So at Calvin, I advise before you go and watch this movie, I reckon you should familiarize yourself again with the first movie, and also watch the recent three short films that the director released.
Link me to those on
Because
Discord.
okay, because once you have that in mind, and all the philosophical notions of the replicants and so on from the first film, then you're ready to see this new Blade Runner. And then once you've seen it, I actually wrote a very brief review of it on my Facebook on the themes that is just so brilliantly like laid out as you walk through Ryan Gosling's character. And I won't say anything, but just having all that in mind is enough for you to then, now fully like appreciate and enjoy the film. It's just great. It's a really good film.
All right, I think that's a good note to end on. A bootleg promotion for a new Hollywood movie. This has been this has been the MIQLAT Hangout Stream 7.2. Without Dad, we are dadless, and we will be dadless on Friday when I go live again at some point. Do you have any final thing to say to the people, General Han Solo?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well,
I guess I appreciate everyone actually being patient to listen to us talk about random stuff in a way. So yeah.
I think that about sells it. Everyone have a good night or a good evening wherever you are. We got people from all over, and see you on Friday.